All right, everybody, welcome again. We are back with the Astrology for the next nakshatra. We are covering the Beej mantras with Astrology. So, Namaste Astrology, welcome. And we'll be doing Mula Nakshatra today.
Namaste. Let me share my screen. Okay. So today we are going to talk about Mula Nakshatra, which is the last nakshatra from this range of solar plexus chakra. And we can see here on the picture that it's connected to 3 beach mantras, which are Nam, Pam, and Hum. So let us chant the mantra in the beginning. Om Nam Pam Hum Mula Nakshatraye Namaha. Om Nam Pam Hum Mula Nakshatraye Namaha. Om Nam Pam Hum Mula Nakshatraye Namaha. So some of the verbs that are connected to Mula Nakshatra are very, very, very much connected to what Mula Nakshatra actually represents. So especially this last Beeja, Pat, it's very much used in many Beeja mantras, and it's really the Beeja of the great fire at the end of time. This is like, wow, when you connect it to Mula Nakshatra, which is really, it's Shakti, it's to unroot things. And when we connect it to this galactic center, which is the Yogatara for Mula, right? It is really about this destroying everything. And destruction is, and transformation through destruction is very much the topic of Mula Nakshatra also. There we have also Par, to scatter, Pa, to rise against, and also Pa, to protect, Pat, to tear. Then we have also Na, no, Nam, to bend, to bow, Nash, to be lost, to ruin, to disappear, to destroy, to perish, to remove. And when I think about Mula Nakshatra, these are really the qualities of this nakshatra. It really unroots everything that is from the past and that is the burden for now and that we don't need anymore in the present moment, and it transforms it into something different. But firstly, it really removes things. It destroys things that we don't need anymore. Because Mula Nakshatra, in my feeling, is also very karmic nakshatra in a way. So it's very much connected with all our karmic burden, all the debts that are not unpaid, all the karmic debts. And that's why, especially if we have debts, and if, let's say, Saturn is passing through Mula Nakshatra, it's going to be merciless, really. It's going to make us pay all these karmic debts so we can actually proceed further with a clear account, right? So that's a very interesting thing about Mula Nakshatra itself. And it's connected to 3 different vayus in our body, which is Krikara Vayu, that's sneezing, inducing hunger and thirst. It's Dhananjaya Vayu, opening and closing the heart valves, and also causing decomposition after death. That's also powerful. And Devadatta Vayu, yawning, reducing tiredness. And all of these qualities, in a way, if we think about Mula Nakshatra and how this galactic center operates. Dr. Aditya Togiji made with you, Dr. Paiji, amazing video about Mula Nakshatra and its Yogatara. I really enjoyed it so much, and I think that everybody should watch it because it is just amazing how this galactic center of our galaxy really functions and how it really embodies all the qualities of Mula Nakshatra. And definitely the goddess here that is connected, it's Niriti, it's Kali. So it's also very important to know that Mula Nakshatra is like the last nakshatra here in the solar plexus chakra, and which really embodies like the most powerful qualities of solar plexus chakra in a way. And that's really Kali, that's transformation, that's cutting off everything that is not needed and really cutting off mercilessly. Because as we had seen in previous nakshatras from the solar plexus chakra, like even Vishaka, even Anuradha, they are still nakshatras that are able to go on certain compromise. But Mula is not like that. It's just cutting us off from everything that is not needed, from everything that is our karmic burden also. And it also makes us see at all those things in our personality that we are afraid to look at usually. And I think that this is what Goddess Kali really represents. Because there are many people who are afraid of her, of Kali, because okay, on the pictures everybody's making her very beautiful, but if we read her descriptions in the Puranas, she's even described as ugly sometimes, as very dark, as very unpleasant. Because she's showing us all these things that we usually don't want to look at, you know, all the poverty in the world, also all the things that we don't accept or we run away from. She's really like the truth in its purest form, and transformation in its purest form as well. And I find it very symbolic that she has here cutted head in her hands, because it symbolizes also, in my opinion, the Ardra Nakshatra, which is right opposite, which is Rahu, right, and which is symbolized by head. And here in Mula, it's like in Ardra, really, the personality is born, the soul is born, but then in Mula, it's finally the cut of the ego, and it's really preparing ourselves to merge back again to this cosmic ocean, which Purvashada will represent. So it's really like a deep, deep purification going on in this particular nakshatra. And I just needed to show this amazing picture, how actually looks the galactic center. Because it's very special when you think about it, because galactic center, right, it's ultimately just a black hole around which everything is just revolving all the time. It really shows us that sooner or later, everything perishes. Even the sun itself perishes. Even our solar system perishes. And it really shows us how small we are in a way. I think that Mula Nakshatra is this nakshatra that is showing us this humility. So in Jeshta, which is first nakshatra of this Gandanta, it's like the pride is being crushed but Mula really grounds us even more. Because after all, even Mula, the name is roots. So going back to our roots and seeing who we really are in our essence and who we are in this vast ocean of the universe. And it is very interesting that because in a way, if we look at this picture, we see that this is galactic center is right in the center, right, of the galaxy, and it's really very powerful force there. And also in Vastu, we can see that it's also little galactic center here, exactly where solar plexus chakra actually. So it's Brahmastan, which is say that always in Vastu needs to be as empty as possible. And even great scholar who brought really lots of quality to the science of Vastu, Dr. Ganapati Stapati, he said that this place where there's this solar plexus chakra of Vastu Purusha, Brahmastan, it has really so powerful, like literally nuclear energy, that even if we would sleep in the center of the house, that it can actually totally destroy our health after some time, because it's just too powerful energy. That's why it's said to be kept as empty as possible. And I think that in a way, this is also the quality of Mula Nakshatra, it is bringing us back to this state of actual emptiness. Because like Jeshta before, it's very much about individuality, identifying ourselves with our power, our skills also. Mula is bringing us back to this essential emptiness that we are. And that's why it's also very spiritual nakshatra, because it allows us to connect to this greater spirit and to honor this greater force that is actually running our universe. And this is a very interesting picture. It's like a continuation of the story from Jeshta. So after Jeshta killed Vritrasura, after Indra killed Vritrasura, not Jeshta, but yeah, they are very synonymous in a way. So after Indra killed Vritrasura, he was actually chased by the embodiment of his sins. And we can see it here. And he was trying to run and run and run. And ultimately, he found shelter under the goddess Lakshmi, which we are going to talk about during the next nakshatra. But it's very specific because that's really the motive of Mula Nakshatra, being chased away by our own actions and getting their results as well. And what I find quite actually interesting here is that Indra himself, because he knew that he won't be able to bear the burden of these sins, he actually asked 3 different entities to help him to reduce his sin. So Indra remembered, okay, so women, trees, and oceans, they're indebted to me. So let me use that now and let me give a part of my sin to them. So he gave 1/4 of his sin to the oceans, and that's why oceans have foam now, which is considered impure. he gave 1/4 of his sin to the trees. That's why trees are sprinkling, right? This little bit of this milk or different sorts of substances. And 1/4 he gave to women. And that's why women have menstruation now. So we have somebody to blame for that now. But it's very interesting. And even this 1/4 that was left was so big sin because he killed a great devotee, actually, Vritrasura. Plus he disrespected his guru, and he even killed one of his guru, Vishvarupa. So it was powerful, powerful burden. And due to that, Indra also needed to make a great tapasya to really atone for these sins. So that's also, I think, very powerful thing, especially if in somebody's chart, Jyeshta Nakshatra, Mula Nakshatra is very prominent, then I believe that all these activities that or spiritual practices, literally tapasya, you know, for atoning certain things from the past are very important very often. So any spiritual practices just to reduce this karmic burden might be very, very important in order for the person to really develop, in my feeling. And Mula Nakshatra is connected to all these chakras. So like Ketu is not connected to any chakra, who is the Mahadasha ruler for Mula. Then it's also connected to Manipura chakra through its Beej mantras. And it's connected to Swadhisthana chakra through Sagittarius. And also all these padas here. So we can see that almost all energies, again, are here active, except Muladhara chakra. So as we were saying already before about different nakshatras who have like similar scheme, they are very much about this cutting off from something and about, how to say, rejecting certain things in our life. Also our ability to say no to certain things. So all these nakshatras that have like all chakra energies except Muladhara have this similar pattern that I notice. So I think that's all from my side, Dr. Paiji.
So again, Achalaji, an excellent presentation, I must say, and a beautiful narration of that, you know, how Indra was chased by his own sins. And what I noticed in that picture, if you can go back to that picture, the beauty, and I forgot to mention that in the last presentation that we did on Jyeshta Nakshatra, is when you said about Kurma Vayu. Kurma Vayu, you said, is about blinking. And look at, you know, Indra was cursed with Sahastra Yoni, 1,000 yonis, or, female reproductive organs, because of his lust for Ahilya, the wife of sage Gautama. And because of that curse, and later on, it was Lakshmi who turned that curse into 1,000 eyes. So you can see the 1,000 eyes on his body. And when you talked about the Kurma Vayu, the blinking of the eyes, you talked about, the blinking of the eyes of the rabbit. And also you can see that Jyeshta is also connected to the deers. Deers also keep blinking their eyes. So there should be some connection with the eyes and the blinking of the eyes with Jyeshta Nakshatra. I feel maybe there should be some strong connection. And
what I noticed actually in Jyeshta Nakshatra, very often, especially if like Mars is occupying Jyeshta or other such a powerful planet, it often happens that people actually experience actual pain in the eyes. It's not always that they can be eyes can be even good, but there is like this pain, this itching in the eyes itself. And these people, especially with Mars in Jyeshta, I noticed that because I know certain people with Mars in Jyeshta, that especially when they get angry, at something, they actually literally stop to see properly. Like their eyes are clouded in a way. So it's really amazing.
That's maybe the same thing with Indra, because when he's filled with lust or anger, I think his eyes get clouded, and then maybe that's why he goes and does those acts of. It's mostly about colossal feats that he does after drinking the soma. Both Indra and Agni are supposed to be great drinkers of soma, and it is also, there is a story where Indra barged into um, the house of Vishwakarma or Twastar, because Twastar used to eat a fresh meat of soma for Indra. and he didn't want Indra to drink that. But what he had done is he had fermented it a little bit extra, just because he had killed his son Trisaras or Vishwarupa. And still, Indra was about, no, I need to have that soma. Even though he's closed the doors, he's not letting me, I'll go. And so he broke open and he drank a lot of the soma. And he got completely intoxicated and he couldn't balance himself. That's when he got defeated by some asuras because of
But
his.
that is so amazing, Tirpaiji, because if we see Jeshta and Mula Gandanta, they are right opposite Mrigashira, right? Which is
Yes,
Soma.
soma, yeah,
So,
exactly. So you can see the connection because all Gandhantas you see, this is what my interpretation was, and I keep telling my people who participate in the webinars I do at research forums. We finally need to cross that bridge of the Martian nakshatra. All Gandhantas you see right opposite is the bridge. Why I say it's a bridge is because two padas are falling in one Rashi or one zodiac sign, and two padas are falling in the next zodiac sign. It's as though it's a bridge between two, typically between an earthy sign and an airy sign. And that bridge is what you need to cross. That's when your Gandanta is complete. When you have untied the knot and you cross that bridge of the Martian nakshatra, in the opposite, that's when you have really accomplished your task of why you come into Gandanta or the periods when you go through Gandanta. So you need to understand what the opposite nakshatras do mean, because every time you remember, this is something I keep telling. If one nakshatra is a problem, then the seventh nakshatra is the solution. If one is the lock, the other is the key. The seventh nakshatra is the key. So, for example, you say the sixth house is illnesses or competition, and the 12th house is hospitals or ashram, where you can go and unwind yourself if you're going to a lot of stress. Ashram or going to far off places, visiting pilgrimages for far off. You have to have both connection of the ninth house as well as the 12th house to go on pilgrimages. 3, 9, 12. Short travels is third house, ninth house is pilgrimages, and 12th house is far off distances. So visiting even gurus, going to their ashram, going to hospital, all that is connected to. So sixth house is unrest, and 12th house is your bed of rejuvenation. So
this is
if,
so true,
so
because even when we see in this Navatara system, actually the 16th nakshatra, which is always the right opposite one, it's Sangatika, right? So it's bringing really the solution.
Yes,
yeah,
it always brings the solution to any problems. This is the
yeah.
this is the fundamentals of nakshatras. If people understand this, then you will know for every problem that you have, there is a solution. There is no key made in this world, or there is no lock which is made in this world without a key. So be rest assured that if you have a lock on some aspect of your life, then you will most definitely find the key in the seventh nakshatra, or the seventh opposite, diagonally opposite whatever is there. And you have to be more intuitive of trying to know how to get those key and who can unlock that key for you. Okay, there are specific activations that will happen. Anyway, I think that's besides the point, but this was a beautiful thing about going to the roots. Okay, and the Shakti of this nakshatra Mula is called as Mula Bharani Shakti. And that's this nakshatra, besides Mahakali, they say it's also connected to a form of Lakshmi called Alakshmi, which is the elder sister of Lakshmi. She actually came out of the Samudra Manthan. Just before Lakshmi came out, it was Alakshmi who came out.
Yes.
Okay, so there are beautiful explanations, maybe, but I think this was beautiful. The description of the Beeja mantra and the narration of the legends and the mythologies is what I really, really like. So thank you very much, Achalaji, for coming and enlightening us again. So hope to see you again for tomorrow for another nakshatra, which is Purvashara nakshatra. So thanks again for gracing this discussion.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Paiji.
Namaste.